Now to the new mode of transportation that could be coming to a city near you. Self-driving taxis are already on the road in San Francisco. Our Becky Worley went for a ride. And Becky, I'm going to say I've been in some crazy drivers in New York City taxis. I might take my chances with the driverless taxi service of the city. She's here to tell us how it went for her. Good morning, Becky.
You have a point, Lindsay. Fully self-driving taxi service is happening, and folks like you are excited about that if you were in San Francisco. The Public Utility Commission has allowed two companies, Google's Waymo and General Motors Cruise, to legally transport riders in limited areas. Both companies let us try them in what some are calling robo-taxis. Riding with no driver, though, was a real trip.
Passengers in the back, nobody in the front. I try Waymo and Cruise, the two newly street-legal robo-taxi services in San Francisco. Waymo is first. Ordering one is just like using a rideshare app. My destination, and wait, a car appears without a human anywhere inside. The car navigates the parking lot, a tricky intersection,
proceeding on Marina Boulevard.
And then that motorcycle just cut right in front of us and handled it pretty well. Our trip is relatively uneventful.
Okay, you're here.
Now the Cruise app. Request ride. Okay. Things start without incident. Then we come to a busy intersection, and as we turn, a man steps into the street, seemingly without looking. Whoa! It was an abrupt stop and jarring for me as a rider. But when we talked to Cruise, they say their cameras were tracking the man the whole time, that he was never in front of the car, and the car acted as it's programmed to, veering left to keep a safe distance from the pedestrian. While the Cruise car successfully navigated that situation, there have been safety issues with cars from both companies.
Trucks, ambulances, and then police cars and all that. And most recently, there was a Cruise car that got stuck in wet cement on the road.
And San Francisco has asked Cruise to reduce the number of its cars on the streets as they work on the technology. And the rest of my Cruise trip is fine.
Speed of the car in the neighborhood seems really appropriate. No California stops, a full and complete stop every time. Turn signals, always going on.
Almost there.
We've arrived.
I made it. Both companies focused on safety. Waymo telling ABC News safety is our mission and top priority as we develop and deploy this technology. And Cruise adds, we're proud of our safety record, which encompasses more than 4 million driverless miles in complex urban environments. And Christine Crosby, who's been a rider in Waymo's pilot program, well, she's a fan.
The first ride that I took, I definitely did on my own without a kid when there was no driver in there.
You took your kids in this thing?
I take my kids in this thing all the time.
Christine's done more than 150 rides, many with her 6- and 1-year-olds riding with her. A driverless future that may be their reality very soon.
They're currently testing the services around the country in cities like LA, Austin, Phoenix, Miami, Nashville, Atlanta. And there are real pros and cons, guys. I mean, the cons are the loss of employment for taxi drivers and Uber drivers. But the pros, it was kind of nice to be in a car by yourself. And as Eddie, our stage manager, just said, you don't have to tip.
No tips. Were you scared at all, Becky, while you were in the car?
The first 5 minutes, Lindsay, I was like paying attention like I was driving, and then you sort of just get used to it. It's weird.
And put on your seatbelt even when you're in the back seat like you did, no matter if there is a human driver or no driver at all. That's what people can skip out on.
I guess I'd feel better if there was a little button on the back that said you could break it at any time.
You gotta let go of the control, George. That's what it's all about. Let it go.
George, one of the cars had plexiglass, so you couldn't do that. So that one was built just for you.
All right, we'll set it over tomorrow.
That's a whole other topic.